There we go. Hey, welcome everybody once again to Astronomy Daily Live. Hope everybody's doing well. I've got my nerdy NASA shirt here on today. Yeah, I just I don't when I go and grab shirts and things, I just sort of grab the next one, and I had absolutely no idea, this one was this. I just saw, a gray shirt, and it's like, well, okay, that's good. And then put it on. It's like, oh, it's the nerdy NASA shirt. All right, cool. So yeah, always enjoy doing that. So yeah, well, hope everybody's doing well today. Things are good here. Things are good here for sure. Still cloudy, still a little bit rainy here. Excuse me. I'm going to pull up the chat here. Hey there, Earth Radio. Nice to see you. Nice to see you in the chat. So yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, that's as I said, still a little bit cloudy. The next clear night I have here is going to be an engineering night, where I'm going to take the telescope and the computer and the camera and everything. And Radio has an idea. Excellent. I like ideas. So yeah, send that along. Send that along for sure. For sure. Yeah, so I'm going to do a little testing. I need to sort of figure out a little bit this problem I'm having with taking data with this system. As you've probably been following over on the Discord server, and having some problems. The stars sometimes are nice, round, beautiful round points, and sometimes they're streaks like that. It's like, what is going on? Anyway, before I get too far into it, I want to say hey there to Bobby in the panel. Hey, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, everyone? Got some morning fog I had to endeavor do on my bike. And what's also good about it, the town that I usually in, it's like all up into one big place.
Cool.
So,
Well,
so what's also good about it, when I was, you don't have to endeavor doing like a 20-mile bike trek. I think it's only just maybe about, I would say about 5 miles and stuff. But I can take 5 miles over 20 miles.
5 miles is definitely shorter than 20 miles. So yeah, I mean, if you're not ready to, and actually I forgot you were on a bike, but yeah, even 5 miles, if you're not prepared, right? If you're not, sort of doing that and used to it, that can even be quite a bit of a chore. But 20 miles is, that's a long way. So yeah. Well,
I'm sorry, but I'm not Rance Armstrong, even though he was a piece of crap.
what was that? That was that. Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you were able to endure the fog.
And what's also good about it, there's like 4 towns squanched up and stuff. There's Morgan City, Berwick, Bayou Vista, and Patterson. They're like all merged into, it's called a Tri-City area.
Tri-City with 4 towns, huh?
Yeah, but the reason why it's called Tri-City is because Bayou Vista is an unincorporated area.
Oh, okay. I got you. I got you. Yeah, yeah. Well, leave it to humans, to figure that out. So, yeah, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Anyway, so yeah, the plan for the next clear night with the telescope system is to go out and I'm actually gonna use M79 again. It's a nice globular cluster, and it when I was observing this last time, it was extremely obvious that I was having some streaky problems. So so yeah, I mean, I don't want to have those kinds of problems, but like I was saying, sometimes the images of the stars are nice, beautiful, round points, and sometimes they're these extended streaks set at like a 45-degree angle. So not quite sure what's going on there, but I've got a test, right? I've got a test that I'm going to perform. And the test is the following. I'm going to put the camera on, onto the, oh, you can't even see it there, onto the bottom of the telescope there, right? And I'm going to put it on in sort of the normal way that I do. And I'm going to point it at M79, Messier 79, a really, really nice globular cluster down in I think it's the constellation of Lepus. I think that's it. It's just south of the constellation Orion. And so I'm going to take some images there, right? And like I said, I mean, I'm not hoping to see these streaks, but if I do, right, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the camera and I'm going to rotate it about 90 degrees, right? And then I'm going to point it again at Messier 79 and take some more pictures. And the idea here is that if my problem is with the telescope mount, right, with the actual tracking, right, then the streaks aren't going to be at this kind of a 45-degree angle. They're going to be at, this kind of a 45-degree angle, right? So I will definitely be able to notice that. If it's something to do with the camera itself, then I should see exactly the same thing. And so I'll be able to narrow down, is it a telescope mount thing, or is it more of like, some kind of optical or CCD camera thing? But fact of the matter is that I have seen extremely nice images, and I've seen extremely poor ones, and I can't do what I want to do based on tonight I sort of hope it works okay, right? It has to work all the time, or show is over, right? I mean, there's absolutely no point in doing anything until I can either fix the problem or get a new mount or something, right? So yeah, so that it looks like maybe tomorrow is going to be clear. If not, then the next day is supposed to be clear. So there's a possibility. Yeah, I'll have to think about how I want to do that, because being out there, at a particular time, to sort of maximize the amount of time that I have on the sky isn't as critical, right? Because I'm going to take a quick look at these things. I'm going to drag everything out there, set it all up, turn it all on, take some images, look at them, right? Rotate the CCD camera around, take some more images, look at those, and I'll basically be done, right? I mean, it's going to take maybe half an hour, maybe. So yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna welcome Tom and Scholar in the chat. And Ron, you got any shows tonight or no?
Yeah, hey there, Tom. Nice to see you in the chat. And yeah, Art Radio, he does at least a couple of shows every day, so I wouldn't be surprised if there is one tonight as well. So yeah, he does some good music shows. Sometimes some interviews and whatnot. So yeah. Definitely check out Ert Radio on MixLR, right? So it's MixLR. Is it .com? I think so.
It's MIXLR.com.
.com. Yeah. And then just look for Ert-Radio, and that's it. So hey there.
Welcome, Ingrid from Brazil, from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Yeah, hey there, Ingrid. Nice to see you again in the chat. So anyway, so that is sort of the plan for the scope. I'm kind of, well, and not even kind of. I'm extremely disappointed because I was just getting to a point where I was going to start taking some serious data. In fact, that night that I saw the star streaks again was actually going to be sort of the beginning of all of this, right? I observed a variable star, I observed an asteroid, and I observed M79 with the hope of, starting something.
Now, you said this is going to be Friday UTC or like Friday local?
Well, it's either going to be tomorrow or the next day. Yeah. And or, right? Because if the stars, if the images of the stars actually appear nice and round, then and I hate to say this, right? But there's nothing I can do, right? I sort of have to wait for it to fail again. Are there any astronomers who take astrology seriously? I don't know. I don't know if any astronomer would actually admit that or not. Yeah, sort of modern astrology is sort of not like it was, right? This whole idea of the universe influencing our lives. Well, to me, that's sort of a matter of fact, right? Yeah, I mean, we live in sort of a symbiotic relationship with the universe, and so what we do affects it, and what it does affects us, right? Now, can we make predictions about that? Do circumstances at certain times and certain places influence our behaviors, especially future behaviors. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But space TV, I keep a very, very open mind about all of that, because we 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 oftentimes think that we're so sure that something is wrong, right? And I just don't know. I just don't know. But are there astronomers um, who take all the astrology seriously? Probably not. Probably not. And like I said, if they do, they're probably not going to publicly admit it, at least. But does the universe have an influence on us? I think so. Um, you know, what that exactly is and to what extent, I'm not exactly sure either. Yeah, that's sort of a ambiguous answer there. But yeah, I can say that of all the astronomers that I've worked with and known, sometimes that topic did come up in like conversations and whatnot, and it was always very, very negatively attacked, right? All this astrological stuff is just garbage and useless and stupid and on and on and on. And I think that's a matter of opinion. But one never really knows for sure, right? For absolute certainty. So yeah, who knows?
And I kind of agree with Space TV. I don't know is the most honest answer, which many people are afraid to say.
I think as a scientist, that is one of the most important things to admit, because that's what sort of begins the scientific process. It's like I don't know, and that sort of may spur some curiosity, to make observations, or to think about various things that you've experienced or seen.
I think like what it is like if I like to take it as more of a job obsession. If you got too much obsession than anything else, then things can happen in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I think modern day astrological work, I think is probably very much misunderstood, especially by those who aren't doing it, and to a certain extent, by those people who are, right. Yeah, I think that's actually a much bigger subject than what we think it is. So yeah, I'm Scorpius. I'm Scorpius for sure. So yeah, and
Leo here.
Cool. So yeah, that just means that at the date and time of your birth, the sun was in that constellation, right? Yeah, I like I said, trying to make predictions about future behavior and future things going on and stuff. That's a tough business, and science is into that too, right? I mean, a lot of what science allows us to do is to predict the future, and it's pretty successful, right? I mean, we can, you know,
Yeah, don't get me wrong, Ingrid. I'm a little bit on and off with astrology too and stuff.
Yeah, well, you know, I think, much of astrology, I am definitely, uh, I definitely have, those three parts. I've got a lot of skepticism, but I'm curious about it, right? I want to know more, and I try very, very hard, to keep a very open mind, and try to understand, because I mean, one never knows. One never knows exactly. So all right, well, cool. So Uncle Bill is in the chat. Very cool. Very, very cool. So I sent a email once again to the International Lunar Observatory Association with a list of questions, right? With a list of questions, 17 questions.
Okay, so Uncle Bill, during astrological chart do not and have not allowed for 3,000 years of precession. They are now a month and a half incorrect on the position of the sun on the day of your birth. Yes,
that's absolutely true. And I think I don't know if there's any reasoning behind that, why they haven't changed. Maybe there's an explanation for that too. So yeah, again, it's sort of a case that I really don't know enough about any of that to really have a strong opinion one way or another. Yeah, but I mean, what Uncle Bill says, of course, is absolutely true, right? So yeah. I don't know how that works out, but yeah, precession hasn't been taken into account, but yeah, I don't know how that corresponds or relates to your zodiacal sign, as they call them. Yeah, not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure there. So cheers to weird things that keep us on our toes.
Faucet water here.
All right, well, cool. So anyway, so sent a list of questions to the International Lunar Observatory Association, because I don't have a lot of information about what they're doing. Whether
Space TV, when a new exoplanet is found, don't they add its data into the mixer?
Oh, I'm not exactly sure. Right, that's part of the problem. Is that my understanding is that true astrological work has to take into account everything in the universe, and how can you know about everything? Yeah, that just seems a little hard. So because I mean, it's not as if this exoplanet just suddenly appeared, because we saw it, right? It was probably there, for quite a while. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what they do with that. I don't follow that at all, so I'm not exactly sure. Not exactly sure. All right, well, cool. So sent them a list of 17 questions. Didn't really uh, expect much, right? I mean, I had absolutely no expectations at all. It was, I guess, it was more of a way of just demonstrating to them that I've got an interest in this, and I've done a little bit of homework, and if they were able to answer any of the questions, that would be extremely cool, right? Well, I actually got a response back almost immediately, but it was very, very short. Um, but the one thing that was sort of different this time, all the other responses I've gotten have been like a single sentence thing with absolutely no signature, no um, you know um, thanks for writing, all of that. And Space TV, no problem at all. I like to think and talk about all kinds of things. So yeah, no problem at all. You keep asking really, really, really good questions. And that those oftentimes lead to some interesting thoughts and discussions and all of that. So yeah, you definitely don't have to apologize at all. I think that's absolutely great. And feel free in the chat to talk about whatever you want, right? I mean, I'm going to sort of do my thing. I'll pay attention, and Bobby keeps me on my toes anyway. So feel free, to tangent off and all that kind of stuff, and I will jump onto that, right? Because I mean, I always have lots and lots of things to say in terms of astronomy and space and science and all that kind of stuff. But if you folks want to talk about a particular thing, this is a porch, right? I mean, it's a circle of friends, and we should be behaving as if we're all right together, and everybody's listening to everybody else, and the conversation does this, right? It's sort of it goes this way and then it goes that way, and that's how conversations go.
You know what's a good place that we can also be around? A campfire.
Campfire is great. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Whatever your favorite image is, works for me really, really well. So yeah, sitting around a campfire, perfect. Absolutely perfect. I guess the only problem with a campfire is that sometimes those fires are so bright that it sort of washes out the sky, right? You really can't see anything. But yeah, it's that kind of thing. Yeah, Ingrid, I'm going to pass on that one. I've talked about that a few times, and I basically have exactly the same answer, and that is I don't have I haven't researched that enough to really have any kind of an opinion. I think the people who I think we're it seems a little strange to me that people who oh, there's a phone call. You know, people who don't like this idea of a flat Earth seem to spend an awful lot of time telling everybody how much they dislike it, and that seems a little weird to me. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. I've got phones ringing in the background. All right. Anyway, but yeah. Let's not go there today, at least. I just have to say that I haven't researched it enough to really have any kind of an opinion. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's going on there.
And I am that type of person that knows that that our creators built a spherical Earth for a reason, for many great reasons, for sure.
Right. Yeah. That is a distinct possibility too. So yeah, I'm you know pretty open to most things, but that I just haven't investigated enough, you know, to have any kind of an opinion about it, right? So yeah, at that I'm going to leave that one alone there, because I think it's getting it's probably getting way too much attention anyway. So like I was saying, got a response back, a quick response back from the International Lunar Observatory Association. They have plans on putting a very, very small telescope on a lander that is going to be landed by a group called Moon Express. And Moon Express is going to be putting a lander somewhere near the south pole of the moon. And from what I've heard, it's supposed to be launching this year on a Rocket Lab rocket. But I don't have any kind of additional information on that at all. And the website doesn't have any real updates, no recent information, right? Some of their stuff goes back all the way to 2003, and their most recent sort of technical update is from like 2012, right? So yeah, you know, I mean, if nothing else, I just sort of want to know what the status of this project is, and so, you know, that was one of the questions I had, and so got a response back, a quick response back, and like I said, previous responses, I've gotten like a single sentence with no signature, no, you know, thank yous, nothing else, right? Well, this time I got a response back from, I forget his name now. Anyway, the director himself, but it was short and sweet. He basically said he doesn't have any time to answer any questions. I'll talk to you later. That is sort of good enough for now. Yeah, and Ingrid, if you aren't on my Discord server yet, I do have a link down in the description. It's an invite, or you can go through the Uncle Bill there, and he can help you out as well with that. So yeah, get onto the Discord server. I try to post things there.
And everybody wants to know what's Discord.
Discord is yet another way of communicating. It's it's a multifaceted way of chatting, right? So, but there aren't any kind of limits in terms of a number of characters. You can post videos and pictures and yeah, it's just another community, right? And like I said, I try to stay relatively active on it. Posting links, to various things. There you go. Uncle Bill has answered that very, very well. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like if you never heard of Facebook or social media, something like that.
Yep. Exactly. So the interesting thing is that I got a response from the director of the International Lunar Observatory Association himself. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm definitely not going to bother them. It sort of seems as though they're pretty busy, right? Especially, I don't have any information on this, but the plan is, like I said, to launch this thing this year, right? Which means, or which sort of implies that the telescope is built, the lander is built, and they're basically just waiting for a launch date, right? I think it's supposed to be launched by Rocket Lab, which I thought was really, really cool. And like I said, it's sort of a piggyback onto the Moon Express lander. So yeah, and at least the information I have is that it's a 7-centimeter telescope, right? So it's a Schmidt-Cassegrain type, just like this one, except it's 7 centimeters in size. So it's that big. Let's see if I can. So it's that big. It's about almost 3 inches in size. So it's a little tiny telescope, but I don't have any information in terms of what kind of wavelength range, what kind of detectors, if they're going to be taking images, if they're going to be taking spectra, are they going to be looking in the visible, in the UV, in the infrared, so yeah, I sort of blasted them with a whole bunch of questions that like I said, I sort of assumed, that they weren't going to be able to answer because they're long answers, right? They're going to be long answers. It's not just a Boolean thing where it's like, either yes or no. The answers, would have to be at least paragraphs long, right? To answer them. And I don't expect anybody to do that. It would have been nice if they did, but yeah, I didn't have any kind of expectation there at all. But it was nice to get a response, and it was nice to get a response from a person, and it was nice that that person was the director of the project himself. So cool. But yeah, I got through the document that I was talking about the other day. This project that was conceived of back in the early 1990s, called LUTE, LUTE, and that was the Lunar Ultraviolet Telescope Experiment, and it was supposed to be a 1-meter telescope that they were going to land on the moon, and it was going to be a transit telescope, meaning that it was just going to sit there, right? It wasn't going to move. It wasn't going to point. It was just going to allow the natural rotation of the moon to, over the course of one lunar day, which is about like 27 and a half Earth days. Just look at one little strip of the sky, right? I think the field of view was about one square degree. So of course, going all the way around the sky, that would be 360 degrees. So a relatively small portion of the sky, but useful and interesting and all of that. And this phase A report, as they called it, sort of laid out the whole plan, right? How they were going to deal with some of the problems, right? Or all the problems, right? The biggest problem on the moon and in space is thermal control, right? It's these extremes of temperature, right? Most places on the moon, right, are either going to be in sunlight or in darkness, right? And the temperature varies from like 70 degrees Kelvin up to over 300 degrees Kelvin. So there's this huge swing in temperature that you have to be able to deal with, and they concluded that they could deal with that, and they had a full plan. This was a phase A proposal, and it was going up against a orbiting ultraviolet telescope called GALEX, GALEX, and it turns out that GALEX won out on that, and I think probably what it came down to was determining bang for the buck, right? GALEX was going to be able to basically do a survey of either the entire sky or a very large portion of the sky, where LUTE was only going to be able to see this one thin little strip of the sky. And so I mean, looking at that, I think I would lean more towards GALEX too, because, like I said, more bang for the buck, right? So, but this huge paper still exists. I've got it. I've read it, and Yeah, you know, this was a doable thing to put a telescope on the moon in the you know, as far back as the early 1990s. So that is extremely inspirational to me because yeah, I mean, I want to do exactly the same thing ASAP, right? ASAP um, for reasons that I've talked about a few times here, and I'm not going to get into that tonight, at least, or today. So, cheers! Another gulp of this hydrogen hydroxide here. Cheers.
All right. And Ingrid, since you're pretty much more of a Christian guy or gal, I'm actually am like LDS, and one of my senior missionary couples before he before he had to like go back to his hometown, gave me a like a little armor of God coin and stuff, and I think that was pretty darn good to remind yourself that I'll show you the backside that for sure we, as long as we like do the things that we always do and always pray and always read the Bible, I think we have a good spot in paradise.
Hmm. Yeah. That's an interesting way of doing things. I think just being nice and not trying to hurt everybody. I think that goes a long way, for sure. So regardless of what your motivation there is, as long as you're doing that, I think you're doing all right, for sure. So yeah, I keep looking over here. I might as well show you these books that I just got. So my boss is very much into all the electrical things, and one of his heroes is Nikola Tesla. And my boss has actually built and operated several Tesla coils over the years, and actually he and I are in the process of building one. So that's kind of a fun thing. But he was kind enough to actually buy me a couple of books. Now there are well, I was aware of one biography of Nikola Tesla that I've got around here somewhere. I can't find it, but I think it's called "Man Out of Time." And let's yeah, oh man, yeah, you got nailed. Ingrid got nailed by Nightbot. Bob, if you want to fix that up, I think she was just posting like her Facebook page. So if you want to fix all that up, that'll be great.
I don't know if I can copy chat messages on my phone and stuff.
Okay, well, I can do it. I can do it for sure. But yeah, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can do anything about Nightbot punishing her though. So. But
okay, I'm gonna like add you and stuff in as well, Ingrid. So I'm just gonna hit that button so you can approve me as well. And once we do that, let's chat with either with Facebook or WhatsApp. I got WhatsApp as well.
Yeah, cool. All right. Anyway, Ingrid, yeah, Nightbot is just doing its job there a little bit too aggressively sometimes. So yeah, I'm going to can I do that? Is that how I think I could just, I tried to copy and paste, but it looks like I got some kind of YouTube redirect. So I'm going to paste this in again, at least what I could find, and see if that's the whole thing. I think it is. I think it is. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, so but my boss alerted me to the fact that there are 2 additional interesting biographies about Nikola Tesla, and he was kind enough to actually buy these for me. And it's like, well, cool. So I just opened these up today, and so here's the first one. And like I said, the one that I've got and have read a couple of times, I think it's called Man Out of Time, and I think it's by an author named Margaret Cheney, Cheney, I think. I'm not exactly sure.
Something, speaking of Tesla coils, the last semester at my Botech at my trade school, my instructor for sure was building a good Tesla coil.
Cool. Yeah. Well, we are definitely going to build one. I mean, he's built some huge ones, right? But that really isn't my end game. My end game is to sort of move along Tesla's path, and sort of keep going the way that he was going. So the Tesla coil for me is sort of the first phase, right? Which would be really, really cool. You can, I think, I'm pretty sure the one we're going to build is going to create 3 or 4 or 5 foot long lightning bolts, right? Big, huge things. So that'll be cool. That'll be very, very cool. Anyway, so here's the first one. It's called Prodigal Genius: The Life of Nikola Tesla, Inventor Extraordinary. So this is by, oh yeah, it says at the top there, John J. O'Neill. And so, yeah, I haven't even opened this yet. But here's a picture of Tesla in 1933. So there he is. There's an actual photograph of him. That's pretty cool. I'm probably going to take these covers off almost immediately because I definitely destroy covers. I mean, as you can tell, if you've seen any of my other books. So I usually just take these off and store them in a safe place. So that's exactly what I'll do. And here's the binding, and you can see that it's got a nice edge there. It's all a nice shiny golden. What's the first link that I sent you? Do you mean the first link in the chat? That was my attempt to send out your link, but I don't think that worked very well. So I tried again. Anyway, so table of contents, light and power, fortune and fame, internal vibration, self-made Superman, afterglow, and then some acknowledgments and a partial list of Tesla patents. So that's kind of cool. I wonder. Let's see. I always like, to look in these books to see if there's any pictures, right? And oh man, there's no pictures in this book. Man, what kind of book is this without any pictures in it? I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So here's a partial list. Yeah, I mean, he was a patent fiend, not because he wanted to make anything from it. He saw patents as a means of keeping records, right? Which is actually a very good use of a patent, right? Anyway, here's some of them, at least. Let's see. It goes over to the next page too. So here's a few of his patent numbers. I don't know if that's focusing or not. It doesn't look like it is. There it goes. It sort of popped in there. There we go. So there's some of them there for direct current and polyphase currents, currents of high frequency and high potential. And then here's another page, wireless systems. By the way, it was Tesla who actually made the first transatlantic radio communication. It was not Marconi. Marconi got it because Marconi was first with the patent, but it was actually Tesla that did it first. I think a couple of years before Marconi. Anyway, so there's a few more of his patents there. So
I also sent you a friend request as well. It'd be great if you checked it out.
Yeah. Check it out. So yeah, there's the first one. So, that was very, very cool. And here's the second one. So this one is called Lightning in His Hand: The Life Story of Nikola Tesla. And that's by Enos Hunt and Juanetta W. Draper. Juanetta. That's kind of a cool name. And again, I'm gonna take the cover off of this immediately. Otherwise, it'll be absolutely destroyed. And so that's a nice front there. And you got the spine there too. Very cool. Very cool. What does this say over here? Oh, Hunt and Draper. That's probably the publisher, right? Yeah. So on the inside is the famous picture of him under his big. I guess that's a Tesla coil. I'm not exactly sure what you call that. So, oh yeah. Well, there's something over here too that, of course, I wasn't seeing until now. So, yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's see. Let's see what the. The one thing that I didn't do was look at the publication date. Publication date of this is okay. So this is 1968. 1968. And this one, I noticed, was 1964. It even has a Library of Congress card catalog number. So there we go. Okay, so it was republished in 1977. So this is probably the 1977 edition, but I guess it was just republished, right? I mean, it wasn't changed in any way. So quite a long table of contents there. Very cool. Very, very cool. Early childhood, European education, right? He was Croatian, I believe. Either that or Serbian. I forget. Is he Serbian or Croatian? Don't remember. Budapest. So yeah, very, very cool. So yeah, I will definitely have to dive into these. There's some pictures here. See, this is a better book because there's pictures in it. not very many, but there are some. So let's see. I'll show you these. Oh yeah. Let's see. I thought that there. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Well, there are quite a few here. So let's see. So there's a picture of him from the Yale School of Engineering. All right, there he is. And there's, what does that say? Okay, so I guess this is a Tesla coil made by Tesla himself, right? That's kind of cool. So this is the International Niagara Falls Commission, right? These guys up here. There's Tesla's birthplace, as it says there. And cool. So here,
actually was born in Germany and stuff.
Like I said, I think he was born in either Serbia or Croatia, Yugoslavia, somewhere around there. I'm not exactly sure. I do have a biography here. We might we might be able to find out right at the beginning. So it just says that he was born on July 9th, 1856 in Smiljan, Smiljan, but it doesn't say what country that is. So I'm still not sure.
So Tom Scudder said that he was a Serbian American born in Croatia.
Okay. Yeah, that was my recollection too. That was my recollection as well. I'm looking in the other book just to see if they say anything more about that. Talking about his parents and whatnot. Tesla was a very unusual person, for sure. He was definitely not your normal dude, for sure. He was way ahead of us, way ahead. Anyway, so yeah, here, let me show you the rest of these pictures. So there he is under one of his other experiments. He's always, shown calmly reading a book or something, which I think is pretty funny. I mean, that sort of shows me, that he's got a sort of a wicked sense of humor, right? So,
and if you have never seen History Channel's The Man Who Built America, Nikola Tesla was it mentioned by it? Was mentioned.
Was mentioned?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, he should. You know, he invented AC, which is coming out of all of our walls. So you know, he's pretty important. He's a pretty important guy.
And if you and there was like a episode in Barter and Marbles that you should be watching as well and stuff, and to find out how was like the first set of electricity came around,
mhm.
and then how Teslas came around.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, there was a rivalry between, you know, AC and DC, right? And Edison was, you know, wanted DC power, and Tesla, you know, was like, no, you know, AC is you know, much more efficient. You can transmit it long distances and everything. With DC power, you would have to have a um, um, power station, you know, all over the place, right?
And
So
that's
yeah,
yeah, I kind of agree. And don't you not even know that the wires of a DC power line is much more super big than
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I guess Mark Twain visited his lab. I'm not exactly sure what that is. What does it say here? Um, yeah, I'm not exactly sure. It's just a photo of him of some sort. Um, so here are the hands of Tesla in an early photographic experiment. There we go. There's his hands there. Here's the nameplate of one of the earliest generators at Niagara Falls. Right, that's where, you know, he generated his first power plant was at Niagara Falls, and yeah, that says 1897 right there. So pretty cool. I don't know what the rest of that says. Might be some patent numbers or something. Yeah, lists 9 of his patents. So here's his big tower on Long Island. Scared the shit out of everybody with that thing. So here's just a photograph of him with Marion Crawford. I'm not quite sure who Marion Crawford is, but they're doing some kind of experiment with fluorescent light there. So that's pretty cool. Come on, focus. There you go. Good job. I don't know what that is. Lots of pictures. So this is some kind of a rotor that was used at the Ames power plant. These are a little weird pictures, but there you go. And there's more. I think there's more. Yeah, there's a few more here. Let's see. So this, I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if that's some of his writing here or not. It's kind of hard to tell by the description, but anyway, that might be.
I think whenever the guys behind that Niagara Falls, whatchamacallit, knew that DC was going to be super expensive, so they went to the cheap route.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, that's an interesting story, which is hopefully detailed in all of these books. I know that it's detailed in the book Man Out of Time, for sure. But you know, Tesla died just absolutely penniless, broken, just wiped out, right? Because you know, he was an idea guy. You know, he was an inventor. He wasn't, you know, particularly that interested
Super
in.
freaky late, Deep Sky Dude.
Hey there, Deep Sky Dude. Yes, you're extremely late, but we're looking at some books about Nikola Tesla, and I always like books that have lots of pictures in it. So I'm just showing off all the pictures here before we get out of here. So yeah, everything's good. Everything's good. So there is Tesla's funeral up here. So at least he got a funeral, I guess. That's not too bad.
I also heard that he wasn't married and stuff.
As far as I know, no, he never married, as far as I know. So there's another picture of his funeral. So yeah, he's got his own car, his own car company. Although you know, Elon Musk and all of his followers, I think at least mispronounce that name. They say Tesla, like Tezla, and you know, Tesla is definitely Tesla with a s, right, instead of a z. But Elon Musk, he says Tesla, and that just grinds on me every single time. So you know, maybe there's a reason behind that. Maybe he just can't, you know, pronounce words right. But anyway, so this says secret Tesla experiments in Berlin. So that's some kind of a drawing. I'm not exactly sure what that's all about. So here is a Tesla museum in Belgrade. I think is that Belgrade, Yugoslavia? No. Beograd. Beograd? Is that it? I'm not sure. Anyway, so there's a museum there. I don't know if it's still there or not. I have no idea. There's a bust of him. And what is this here? Okay, so this is the original Telluride Institute. So yeah, you know, he spent a lot of time in Colorado. I know that. So pretty cool. And then here is what they're calling the Tesla Manifesto. So, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know if I was ever aware of this, but it's dated and marked New York, January 1st, 1904. And it's some kind of a, well, they're calling it a manifesto, but it's some kind of a long worded thing of some sort here. Sorry, it's not focusing, but it's, you know, it's signed by him. It's got some things down here on the bottom. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, so pretty cool books. I'm gonna you know, now that I've got them, I'm gonna have to read them. Well, you know, Deep Sky Dude, the geniuses usually are pretty weird, and you know, during his interview with Joe Rogan, it's been a couple months now. There was one thing that he said that really, I think, was extremely revealing, and that is that and I don't know exactly how he said it, but he describes, or he tried to describe, what was going on in his head, and he described it as a constant explosion, right? A constant explosion. And if you try to imagine what that must be like, right? That 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 to me would be absolutely maddening, right? That would drive me just absolutely insane, right? I mean, if I just have, this constant explosion of thoughts and ideas and concepts and all that, um, uh, yeah, I definitely, I really don't think that I would want to be him at all. If that's true, if he's not able to turn it off, and in fact not even be able to control it, right? I mean, an explosion is some kind of an event that really can't be, controlled or contained, and um, you know, what he said is that it's a constant explosion, right? So wow, yeah, I can't imagine that. Uh, yeah, I've learned how to turn my head, completely off, right? Just off. Um, and well, I don't know if that is beneficial or not, but man, to not be able to do that, wow, I think I go crazy. So, all right, well, cool. Yeah. Well, I think the Hyperloop is a good idea, um, and I think the tunnel idea is a great one too. And yeah, lots and lots of good ideas come from these kind of people who are usually way ahead of their time, right? The technology just isn't there to support it, but the idea is great, right?
And to be honest with you, I really love those types of people that are way ahead of time.
Well, I do too. But they have a hard time because they're so far ahead that not very many things actually work out. Elon Musk has had the good fortune to come up with a few things that you know sort of modern technology can actually support, right? So yeah, the reusable spacecraft, that should have been done actually years and years and years ago, right? I mean, we know, we've known for at least since the 60s, right, how to land propulsively, right? There's nothing, I mean, you know, I say this, but there's not much to it, right? You just have to make sure that everything is straight, and you got to have a throttle, to be able, to turn up and down your thrust. But yeah, there's not much to that. And
Do we have
why?
to learn how to hyper sleep before we do any other hyperactive activities?
Well, I guess that depends on how you define that. So yeah, don't know. Yeah, well, cool, Deep Sky Dude. So you're pretty close to a launch site. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, and Space TV, he lists a few there for sure. I would put Buckminster Fuller on that list as well. I put Tesla on that list. Elon Musk is definitely sort of in that group. He doesn't have all the characteristics.
I think this guy do meant to say Sagan.
I think so. Yeah, yeah. Carl Sagan maybe was sort of in that group too, to a certain extent. I think, in order to be like a super genius, I think, one of the side effects of that is that you're a little weird, right? In fact, a lot weird. Tesla was a really strange guy. He had voices in his head. He could he claimed to be able to hear things from miles and miles and miles away. He saw things that may or may not have been there. All kinds of stuff. Bucky was.
You think
I don't
you
think.
could put like people like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates in that list too?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there are really smart people, right? Really smart. And then there are geniuses, right? And I sort of separate those. The genius is like way out in front, way out in front. Smart people know how to sort of put things together and make things happen. Which is also great, of course. So, all right, well, cool. I think that I am going to get out of here for now. I noticed that it's 3:22 UTC, and yeah. Well, good conversation. I like these kinds of conversations where it's not necessarily just me gabbing here. So cool, very cool. But yeah, so I will definitely be giving you some book reports on these guys. I'll be reading these hopefully over the next couple of weeks or couple of months. I don't know how long it's actually going to take. I'm going to have to actually block out some time to read. But I have no problem with that. If I spend half an hour every day, I can probably get through these in I don't know, a couple of weeks or something like that. Yeah, Galileo's on that list. Kepler's on that list. Newton was definitely far out too, for sure. All right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here. So have a great evening, a great day. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Spread the word about this. Like I say, this is just a fun, casual get together of friends each and every day, same time, same place. And we talk astronomy and science and space and nerdy things. And just have a lot of fun. So that's what it's all about. Bottom line is, let's have a lot of fun here. And for sure, if this wasn't fun, I definitely wouldn't be doing it. But this is way too much fun. So and I don't see it ending at all, because the universe is a big place. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to see. There's a lot to experience. and it's never ending, right? Because we've got all this stuff in the past, and we've got all this stuff in the future, and we have all this stuff right now, and so yeah, there are, you know, literally lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes, you know, to talk about here. So yeah, we'll never run out of things, you know, to think about and to talk about at all. And you know, my job is to do it one day at a time, one day at a time, and you know, just have as much fun as we possibly can each and every day. So, all right, well, I'm glad everybody was able to come in, and I will be here again tomorrow. Just as a reminder, the live stream for the 10th of this month is going to be canceled. I've got a musical gig, and I'm just not going to be here. And there's a possibility that also the 14th, but I still have to confirm that. I'm just not going to be available that day. That I'm still not too sure about yet, but for sure the 10th, which is coming up in a few days. So I play that keyboard right there, Deep Sky Dude. Yeah, cool. What do you play? I will wait for an answer here. Yeah. So I do that. I do a little bit of guitar. I've got an acoustic guitar here, and I've got an electric guitar here too. Oh, you play bass. Cool. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I want to get a bass. And actually, one of the bands I was in, I was the bass player, but like Manzarek on the Doors. So I played bass on the keyboard instead. So that worked out really well. So yeah. Tim Smith, hey there. You've been lurking, I see. So, all right, cool. All right, well, I'm going to get out of here for now. So take care, and I will see you again in a little less than 23 hours from now. Deep Sky Dude, if you want to chat, best to get onto my Discord server, right? So I have a link to that down here. And you can join my server, and yeah, you know, let's talk some music stuff for sure. All right, peace, cheers, and all that, you guys. I will see you later. Bye.
Later.